On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, we are here with my finished 2014 Jag F-Type S, and I have been daily driving it for a while, but today we're gonna go see just how well I did on my engine swap. Like I said, here with the Jag, and we're gonna head up to Luxury Imports here in Wichita. They're a indie shop that specializes in Jag and Euro vehicles, and Dana is the Jag tech that loaned me the tools to get this job done. All the injector tools, he got the parts that I needed, the valve cover gaskets, all the gaskets, all that good stuff. He put all that together for me. But before we do that, I wanna give a huge shout out to everybody that helped make this build possible. And we're gonna start off, obviously, with Luxury Imports because they loaned me the tools to do all the DI work on this thing, which are specialty tools that I'll probably only need to use once in my life. And then RKX Tech, huge shout out to them for giving me all the brand new aluminum cooling pipes that are under the hood up there instead of the plastic ones that are commonly broken on Jags, especially the 3-liter and the 5-liter. So if you need those aluminum cooling pipes, you want to upgrade your car, make sure they don't leak in the future, hit them up. There will be a link in the description below. LKQ for getting the engine crisis resolved. I bought it from them because they're super reputable and local, so when I need an engine, I can just run up there with my truck and load it up and boom, I can start putting an engine in the car. Of course, it didn't go so well on this car, and they got me the second engine that was the correct one and basically overnighted it here so I could get it on time and get the thing in the car. Huge shout out to LKQ. I'll link them in the description too. Last but of course not least, O'Reilly's for having all the fluids, especially rare stuff. And I'm getting these fluids at 9 p.m. day of, and they're always the pinch hitter coming in and saving the game. So without O'Reilly's being here, we wouldn't have the thing running in the same timelines that we made them happen in. So huge shout out to all those companies, and of course a huge shout out to you guys for watching and for all the comments that answered questions about the engine, and of course the guys that originally worked on this exact car reached out from the first video. A lot of this was just, it was great to have your help. Jag techs that know a lot about this engine. If you guys know me, I'm an LS guy. I like working on imports, 4-cylinders, stuff like that. I love the LS. I love parts availability, but this is a little bit of a different ball game. I don't have any problem with Euro stuff, but you know I prefer the LS because it's just like, I mean, I can get everything in 5 seconds. There's no delays. There's no waiting on parts that need ordered. It's a little bit different when you're dealing with the Euro stuff, and parts are far more specialized. With that said, let's head over to Luxury Imports right now. I just want to show you guys something really cool. The car is unlocked right now. You can see the handles are open. The key is in my pocket, of course. To lock the Jag, you push on the handle like you want to slam it into the door. So you just touch it, and it locks, and the mirrors fold up. And to unlock it, you push the unlock button, and it hands you your handle back. How cool is that? And for anyone that doubts this car, that's probably one of the most finished projects ever on YouTube. This is all live. I will say we definitely have one more video coming up on just the interior of this car. First, I need to buy the motor. This is a little motor that's like 30 bucks. It closes perfectly, but it doesn't open automatically all the time. And also all the buttons in here have sticky buttons. They've degraded into that nasty goop when you touch it and your hands stick to it. You can see it right there, like my finger sticks to that one. And that one I did a little test on and it's perfect. So we're gonna walk through cleaning up sticky buttons. And now we are here at Luxury Import Specialist. Huge thanks again to Dana for loaning me all the tools to do all the DI stuff. I mean, you are the Jag guy. So we should probably tell them real quick, how long have you been working on Jags?
21 years.
Okay, that's, you put in your time.
Yep, believe it or not, 21 years.
So that is awesome and invaluable help to me putting this thing back together. So what we're gonna do today is let Dana tear this car apart. I was like, don't hold back. Tell these guys everything that's wrong with it. Now we know a few things are wrong with it still. The wipers don't work. It throws a code for the wiper relay. The secondary battery fails to charge. And I can't go into dynamic and snow mode.
Okay.
Other than that, it drives pretty well. It makes the right noises. But let's just jump right in and see what your thoughts are.
Well, cool. Let's pop the hood and get started.
Awesome. Oh, and don't worry about all the engine covers. I just left those on the ground of the shop.
All right, so far so good. Nothing sticks out. You got all your bolts back in, holding your wiring harnesses in.
Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. Because most people leave them out.
I even got the back ones on the, you know, the ones that hold the rest of the bracket on there. It took me a while to find those.
Yep, so far so good.
And you drove it in here, so I guess you've got 30 seconds of drive time in it.
Yep. And it started right up and didn't misfire or run bad.
Perfect.
So far so good.
Cool.
We'll throw it in the air real quick and check underneath.
Let's do it.
See how it all looks underneath. Yep, everything looks good. Got all your exhaust lined up because those can be a bear.
Well, the trick was I didn't take the exhaust off the manifolds.
Oh, so
I
you cheated.
I didn't want to break the bolts.
Yep, because that's usually how it goes.
I've done it. I've broken them too many times.
Yeah, because I'm sure you've seen where you got a nut on the bottom side and a nut on the top side.
Yes.
And
How are you supposed to get those off?
You just get up there and just get a couple swivels and go after it and hope for the best.
But with the heat shields, some of the heat shields are nearly impossible to get off, so that was the next, the next fight.
Yep, it makes it fun. Well, missed your steering connector.
Oh, it's... Is that why the power steering didn't work? I was sure I plugged that in. Wow, you fixed the car already.
Yep, that was it.
Oh, no wonders.
But other than that, looks like everything's gonna be pretty good.
I remember, I don't know if you saw the video, but I also forgot the entire steering coupler the first try. So
no.
I got back under there, I put the coupler back on, tightened it down, and then I went and drove the car. But yeah.
Yeah. We can scan codes and clear all that out and
cool.
Take it for a quick spin and see if that was all it is.
So we just talked about the secondary battery a little bit, and I was asking if there's a hookup to get the battery, which is a 5-pound lithium ion that's specially built for JAGs, cheaper than it is on the internet, because I've seen it for about $331. And the answer is apparently a hard no.
Yep, it's a hard no.
So unfortunately, if I want to replace that battery, which keeps failing the charging test, I have to buy it for full price, which is not fun.
Yep, it's a dealer-only item.
Hey, they do say JAGs cost more to work on. So this is the actual JAG software here on this tablet, which is going to be awesome. We're going to jump in here and scan this thing, and I bet we can find some things that I could not find when I was working on it. So we have the real data here from the JAG scan tool, and we're seeing a lot of the same codes that I was seeing there. Actuator supply voltage A.
Yeah, windshield wiper relay, that might be something why they don't work.
Yep. Secondary battery. And front windshield wiper park position switch.
Mm-hmm. And the only control module that didn't respond was your parking aid module.
Well, I don't care about parking.
We can just clear everything out and see what comes back.
Sounds like a plan. I like that one that said powertrain flight recorder. What on earth?
Yep, see exactly what's going on.
Nice. I'm hoping that power steering connector there first changes. It's probably variable, right? It should get really light at low speeds.
Yep.
And it was just pretty heavy all the time. And I'm also hoping it brings back the dynamic mode. So.
It should, because if you get any fault in that system, it takes all that away from you, so that way you don't do anything you shouldn't or hurt itself more than it would.
When you put it in, it will go into dynamic mode, and 2 seconds later it'll kick it back out.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably is finding a problem and bailing. Also, the engine adaptations are cleared now, so we're starting over there. Clean slate.
Yep. And we can take it out and drive it around a little bit and see if anything comes back.
So I've got one fun question for you right here. All right. How hard is it to replace the motor that lifts the center vents?
If I remember right, it's not too bad. It should just lift, the whole thing just lift up out of there.
Okay, that's what I read something like that, trying to find somebody who had repaired it, you know. Mm-hmm. There were a few threads where people had replaced that motor. And the motor's $35 on eBay.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
Yeah, like a used one. And I'm happy to do it, but I would like it to work.
Yes.
Oh, the real question here. Dynamic mode. Go for it. The gauge just stayed red.
Yep. That was it.
You fixed it.
Yep.
Yes.
Simple connector.
Knocked it out. No problem.
But all in all, for your first time, that's not bad.
Yeah, not terrible.
You had to pull it back out to fix something.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, I've been tearing down my Audi 3OT, and that engine is a dumpster fire compared to this engine. I mean, this is really not that bad. It's a pretty standard V6 with a, variable timing and a few nice toys on it.
Yeah.
That Audi V6, there is a manifold in the valley that combines the coolant crossover and all of the PCV.
Yep. Yeah, they're fun to work on for sure.
Everything's an engine out on that.
Yeah, you can't even see the belt on those engines.
You can't get the belt out because it's stuck behind an idler that's stacked on top of the tensioner.
Right through the gears with no issues.
Awesome. It's been pretty okay for me since the misfires cleared up, but I still want to run a bottle of 44K through it. I've heard a lot of people saying that fuel injector cleaner will help these things out a bit too.
Yeah, you definitely want to do that once a year.
Okay.
No matter whatever. Basically every oil change, because it's 1 year, 15 or 16,000 on these, something like that.
What an oil change interval.
Yeah. I usually just tell people 10,000.
Okay.
Just because it's cheaper to do an oil change than try to fix a sludge issue.
Absolutely.
Or have another, something get clogged up and you'll roast a bearing or something.
Sure.
And it's way easier just to do an oil change. A little short, and 10,000 miles is plenty regardless of how you drive.
10,000 miles is way out there. Love it, man. Well,
for a V6, that's a good exhaust note.
Sounds great. I guess all I really have left is TPMS and the wipers, and I'm pretty close to where it needs to be. No wipers at all. It doesn't care. It doesn't even spray.
Oh, it doesn't even spray?
I think the spray might be empty, but it wouldn't spray. A wiper test. We threw a relay in there. Nothing. Oh, look at that. How come it wouldn't work when I just turned them on? Oh, there. It does work. Okay, max speed. Huh. I have no high speed, no low speed, but I can at least run them.
Okay. So just need to check those relays.
That's interesting. Well, of course, Dana got the wipers sorted out just like that. The relay was missing.
Yep.
So he had a spare, we put it in there, and it wipes. So that's nice. I need to fill up the sprayers, and we might have some success there too.
Yeah, hopefully.
The real question is, do I sell the car right now that it's just finished? The YouTube comments, there's a lot of them that are like, dump that car today. And then there's me that wants a long honeymoon with this car because I'm in love with it.
Yep. I would keep it. They're solid cars. You just need to drive them every day.
Okay. Don't let it sit.
Yep.
Okay. And that does make sense with the dual battery system. I honestly think the lithium died from sitting.
Yep.
So that kind of checks out for sure.
That's the hardest thing on any car.
Don't let them sit.
Yep.
Well, this would be one heck of a daily driver.
Yeah.
The gas mileage and I don't agree, but
well, you just gotta keep your foot out of it.
What are you talking about? Makes good noises when you put your foot in it.
Of course it does.
Yes, it does. All right, man. Thank you so much.
Yep. No
and huge shout out for helping me with the tools and everything I needed for the build. And luxury import specialist here in Wichita. If you need JAG, Land Rover, all the fun stuff. All right, man, thanks. Well, I've driven it for about 1 minute since I left Luxury Imports, and the power steering is amazing. I cannot believe that I missed that one connector, especially when I went under there to hook up the steering coupler. So shout out to Dana for finding that. I expected him to find way more things that were wrong with this thing, but actually seems like it's okay. So I'm gonna keep right on driving it. I love the car. So right now I'm headed to the shop to figure out what my next project is, and we gotta see when this thing can get in to get detailed and cleaned up, because it still looks rough. It might run right, but it looks rough. Well, this is one of the 3 cars in the world that's new that Dad's ever wanted. So it's not really what he wanted, it's kind of not the right spec. He said he wanted the R when it came out, so I brought the S over here. so he could drive it.
How do we start this thing?
Here you go. Just hit the foot on the brake, hit the button.
Okay, I'll take it.
I don't think that's what I said. You're just putting words in my mouth here. Squeeze the trigger and then drive. There you go. And you're in drive. And that's it. It's turned up. The exhaust is open. Sure. Technically. Technically is the best kind of correct.
Uh-oh.
Not bad, right?
Yeah, that's not bad.
It makes a little power. It's not crazy. It feels so much fun for like the 350 horsepower it makes or something like that.
It's not an aerial.
It's no aerial, but it's comfortable, which is obviously about 1,000 times better. That was only, yeah, you're about half throttle. It felt like half throttle.
Wow.
But it makes all the right noises.
Yeah.
Like give it at least 80% throttle and the supercharger will just come to life right now.
Yeah, I heard the whine.
You need more. Okay, here it comes. And as soon as you let off the throttle,
That's cool.
I love the noises.
Everything feels good. It's tight.
And now, okay, so you're gonna love this. I'm gonna take it out of dynamic and it's gonna go back to comfort mode. And the exhaust shuts up, and the gauges change colors.
Yeah, just the engine RPM changed too.
And it dropped a gear.
Yeah.
It went back up to 8th. So now you got your touring car.
Yeah, it definitely sounds different.
Very different.
Yeah, a completely different engine sound. This is the only Ford that I would own.
It's a pretty solid Ford.
I've sold all my other Fords.
Yeah?
Except for the Model T.
Yeah, you got a bunch of old Fords.
Yeah, I'll keep the old ones.
Here, watch this. Let's see.
Say this.
So, while you're parked here for like 2 seconds, watch how fast the top opens.
That is cool.
And like 1 more second. There you go. That's all the time it took.
Wow.
It sounds a lot different. Wow. Can you believe that was not sport and the exhaust was closed?
That's fantastic.
It sounds
Probably can't hear with that, can you?
Well, there'll be a lot of wind noise, but I bet we'll hear it.
Well, that is quite a little acceleration
For a V6.
profile.
V6.
It feels a lot bigger than that. I can't believe how fast it jumps up.
I open the exhaust back up so it'll make noises.
My local sheriff. I really ran out of pain.
Yep. I was telling Jake yesterday, I'm going to get in trouble in this car.
For all my friendly police officers, we were just doing a little testing.
Just making sure everything was right.
Shaking out.
There are conditions that have to be met. Throttle positions. Oh, man.
Okay. Well, just leave it here.
Yeah?
I'll
So
take
you'll
care of it.
take it home?
Take my service truck home.
Yeah. I just can't wait to see the toolbox put on the back of this. It'll be nice.
Park.
Just push P. That P.
That B.
Put it in sport. Like shift, you got your foot on the brake? Now push park. No, Now, I think the TPMS module itself is the issue with this car, but let's run around and use the TPMS scanner to check all the wheels and tires, and hopefully we find a dead TPMS sensor. That would be a much better outcome than a bad TPMS module or receiver. This thing may not have any sensors in these aftermarket wheels. I love these wheels, but there's a good chance I'm not getting anything. Even better, the F-Type can be 2 different frequencies, so I have to check 315 and 433 on this car. So I'm running the 433 now, 315 timed out. Well, we just solved another problem with the Jag. There are no TPMS sensors in the wheels. Dana was like, are there sensors in there? And I was like, I mean, probably. Every shop puts sensors in now. They didn't. So I guess I can figure out which sensors I need and get them programmed for this thing, and we'll go from there. And our last test for the day. Look at that, we found the wiper fluid problem. It is just absolutely pouring out underneath the car. It looks like the hose is broke basically right there. So that's it, the wipers are all working. I gotta fix that one little rubber hose. Maybe put TPMS sensors in it, maybe not. But it's time to drive this car. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop, watchjaguar.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. And now for your update on the Car Crusher. And I know a few people have wanted an update on the Car Crusher because they want to see it run, but it's not, I mean, it runs right now, but it's not being used the way it will be soon, which is with full pressure control. And once it has that, the thing can go into like real production and they'll be able to use it like crazy.
For those of you who remember when we were working on the machine, it's supposed to put out about 4,500, maybe 5,000
PSI.
PSI. I think it's 4,500 if I remember right. And it's got 125 horse, three-phase motor on it.
Sure.
And when it gets up to about 3,000, which it has a variable displacement valve on it that I can vary the pressure going to the cylinder, and that is to really control some portion of 4,500 and down. Okay, and when I dialed that all the way up and put full 20 milliamps out to the control valve, which basically put full hydraulic pressure, it just deadheaded the valve straight back to the pump, I could stop this 125 horse motor. It would bend over on the torque curve and go to a complete stop and just lock it up. And I had to get out of that 4 to 20 really fast to get it running. So
we saw that motor seize 3 or 4 times on video too, where it would just be running and then all of a sudden
that's right.
Stop.
Well, that was me stopping it, putting full power on the joystick. Well, actually, you go forward on the joystick and then you control with a variable voltage how much power you put on it. Okay, so it kept locking up and stopping. So I finally tracked it down, took the pump all apart, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but I totally disassembled the pump, and the pump has a pressure compensator in it. And we'll get into that when we rebuild the pump and we can show people how to do it. But the pressure compensator basically moves the rotating cylinders and pistons so that when the pistons, if the drive shaft is my arm and the piston and the rotating cylinders are right here because my arm is spinning from the motor, it sucks in oil down here and sucks it in a wide spot and pushes it out in a narrow spot. So as the pressure comes up, the pressure compensator automatically lifts the cylinder, and so that both pistons travel the same exact distance. So it sucks in 10 cc's, pushes out 10 cc's, or it actually doesn't suck in anything. I mean, it's because the piston's moving back and forth. So the 10 cc net move comes out to a net of 0. So in other words, it quits moving hydraulic fluid when it's straight in line. Okay, so there's a hydraulic cylinder over here, or a piston, that moves this based on pressure. Now that's called the volume compensator based on pressure. And this little device right here, as you can see, this was just some of the rust. The actual piston that moves the cylinder up and down, we had to beat that out with a hammer. Okay, but I was able to save it because I don't really care. The piston itself is really just a carrier of the seal, if you will. So a little rust in it don't hurt nothing. But I couldn't put it back together without having this fixed, because this little slider right here has hydraulic fluid coming out of the center of that hole right there, and it slides back and forth on this. So this is kind of the range of motion of that piston, and as it changes the leverage. This goes into this little piston. This piece right here actually fits into the moving piston, and this comes out. And what it does is this is always in contact with this, and this is what transfers the force back and forth and gives the feedback, mechanical feedback, to the various pressure sensors. Or actually, in this case, it's a pressure valve. There's a pressure valve here that I can adjust with this. This was actually sheared off. It looked like they hit it with a bulldozer or something. They moved the whole machine, and it actually bent this whole. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this whole thing is bent right there. Sure see it. So I ordered a new one of them. I'm not going to get these until October. That was 22 weeks to get those. But the rest of the parts came in. We got the new I wanted to change this because these were wearables and we had to kind of beat them out. It's too much trouble to ever.
Is that orifice not clogged up after?
I got a brand new one of them.
Okay.
So you can see here's this new piece. There's that new piece. We'll unpack this one. I don't really want to handle it at the moment because I don't want to get my.
Oh, you got a new pivot too.
Yeah, this feedback arm or lever. Anyways, you can see there's that device, and that one had to be made by Rexroth in Germany. I've been waiting on them to make that piece. This pump is no longer in production, but they did make the parts, which is
good support.
Which is good. And then we got so that's our main parts. So with these parts, I don't have this, but this screws into the outside of the pump. So what we can do is I can actually use this one and the parts we have until the new parts come in. That's the spring that goes in the big compensator piston.
Sure.
And the spring had been sitting full of water,
so
it rotted the end off.
Yeah.
Well, that changes the K factor of the spring, and I didn't want to take a chance on doing all this work because I didn't want to tear it back apart to change that. It's like a $30 spring or something like that. I said, let's put that in. And then we got all the seals, the body seals. It should have everything to put it back together. And then there was this was just really candy. But it's just, that's the amp meter.
Yeah, those were shot on the control.
Yeah, the lenses were all broke out. I found the original manufacturer of those. Cool. I think they're from Italy, and they didn't cost that much. But I went ahead and got him a set of those so that they can actually read how many. This is how many amps it's putting out to the pump in milliamps.
Yeah.
So we got amps, we got the voltmeters. They were both broke. So with these parts. And I had one switch left that changes modes, and this is the one switch that we still got to put in. So I haven't been back down there since we took the pump out, and this is the last switch we got to put in. So we'll put these various components in, get the pump rebuilt, and then we're ready to reinstall it, and it will hit full pressure, and they'll be ready to start using it. There's other things wrong with the machine. There's some hydraulic leaks here and there. I found one big weld that was broken. They're going to have to weld that.
Yep.
And I'll weld it if they want to, but I'm the most expensive welder they can put out there. But if they want, we can definitely weld it because we're an ASME boiler shop, so we can put it together and guarantee it. So that's about it. So that's our next update. We'll put the pump together, and we should be able to go down there and with the pump and with these parts and 3 or 4 hours of assembly.
Should be good to go.
Have it running.
Yeah. So, I mean, it runs now. We couldn't vary the pressure.
Well, yeah, and I took the pump off.
Yeah, now it doesn't run. Yeah.
There's rags stuck in the pipes. There's a couple other things that need to be done. The spiders on the couplings.
I remember those.
There's two pumps, right? There's the high volume, low pressure.
One on each end of the motor in the middle, pump.
That's right. Then there's the low, there's the low volume, high pressure, which is this one. This is the one that really takes over and does all the crushing, and the other one just moves everything back rapidly.
Yeah.
Right? Well, in order to get that spider in, we got to do one or two things. Drain that great big tank and lift that pump out because there's no way otherwise to do it.
Oh.
Or leave the pump hooked up with the piping and take the motor loose and get the motor out. Either way, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But, somebody's got to do it because it's metal to metal coupling. There's no spider in there.
Yeah.
And it'll destroy that. It'll destroy the coupling. So that's the little things that's got to be, at the end of the checklist, we're down there on those little maintenance items need to be done. So it's very close.
It'll run soon. Well, 2-3 more weeks or whatever it is now.
Yeah. Well, it can run sooner than that because I can have this. I mean, I could actually put this on next week and have this thing running. I'm not going to do it till I get back from the motorcycle races. So I've got to go on that ride. But other than that, it's good to go.